Home is key to health and prosperity for all of our communities. But more and more of our neighbors in Concord, immigrants, people of color, seniors, people with disabilities, are being forced out of their homes and neighborhoods due to out-of-control rent increases and unjust evictions. When cities ensure that everyone has a safe, stable, and affordable home, everyone wins. Local policies that ensure renters stay housed benefit schools, who know their students succeed more when they have a stable place to live. They benefit employers, who know their workers will be able to stay and live in the community. They benefit small businesses, who know that people will be able to come back with more money in their pockets. And they benefit homeowners and governments, reducing the impact of homelessness on city services and streets. Unfortunately, large corporate landlords and out-of-town investors don't care about community well-being. They don't care if families, younger residents, seniors can afford to rent in the city. A lot of people believe their landlords are a local mom and pop who have worked hard and lived close by and have been able to save enough to be able to buy a rental home or afford multiple homes for themselves. Unfortunately, mom and pop landlords are becoming a thing of the past across the Bay Area. Large corporations and out-of-town investors are snatching up homes left and right and becoming the main landlords in town. This trend is especially visible in our communities here in Concord. Thanks to in-depth research by the Anti-Eviction Mapping Project, we know that the vast majority of rental units in Concord have been captured by a small number of corporate landlords. Just 20% of property owners control over 80% of the multifamily units in the city. Even more concerning, 2/3 of the apartments are controlled by just 10% of these owners. That means that almost 17,000 residents live in units that are owned by just 50 companies. These companies are not concerned with community well-being. They're driven by money and power. The largest corporate landlord in Concord, Vasona Management, owns an estimated 14 properties and 569 units in the city. From their headquarters in Campbell, they own and control apartment homes across 18 cities in the Bay Area. In February 2023, they reached a settlement with the Department of Civil Rights in California for prohibiting children from playing outside at their properties, even evicting some families in the process. This is illegal discrimination against families with children. Vasona Management is just one example of how the corporate class in Concord has the ability and power to threaten families and the most vulnerable in our communities. We also know that 78% of Concord's rentals are owned by investors who, like Vasona, are located outside of the city. This trend is most extreme among multifamily apartments, with 86% owned by out-of-town speculators. Meanwhile, according to city and county data, rents have shot up by over 60% since 2011. And the number of people experiencing homelessness has increased by 230% since 2016. Clearly, wealthy investors and Wall Street firms smell a chance to profit on runaway rents in Concord. Without common sense regulations, the rest of us are left to suffer. Even with such widespread corporate control of rental properties across Concord, the California Apartment Association and other real estate lobbyists continue to lie and claim that most landlords are mom and pop landlords, pressuring our council members to put this false information over our well-being. But we all know that corporations and wealthy investors will say whatever it takes to maintain their bottom line, even if it means worsening our housing crisis. The housing crisis in the Bay Area can seem like an impossible challenge to overcome. But together we could do something about it in Concord. We can live in a community where people start and sustain small businesses, where children can focus on their education, and where no one has to live on the street. We can act now to ensure that we pass rent stabilization and just cause for evictions. These policies are common sense consumer protections that are desperately needed to rein in the monopoly a small number of corporate landlords in Concord have over the 40% of Concord residents, the immigrants, workers, people of color, seniors, people with disabilities, people who rent their homes. Together, we can ensure that people can afford to live with dignity and build roots in Concord for generations to come.